Good morning. This is Darcy Clary again from Clary Law Offices. We're talking about a topic of Know Your Constitution. And today we have a very popular amendment that's in discussion all the time. The Second Amendment. The Second Amendment deals with the two areas. One is the right to set up a militia, and the second one is the right to bear arms. There's two parts to this. There has been a lot of criticism early on that it had nothing to do with the right to bear arms, strictly with the establishing a militia for the protection of the public. Well, that's not true. It has both aspects to it, and so I'm going to discuss both today. Simply said, the fact that Florida or Georgia or any state here in the United States may set up a militia, and they have another word for it. Some of it is the National Guard, or the citizenry set up a particular group of people to defend us from insurgencies. So in any event, I'm not talking so much about that. I'm talking about the right to bear arms, which means that you as an individual and I may purchase a gun, a weapon. And in most states, you are required to get a permit to do that. I know in Florida we do that through the Department of Agriculture, and you can apply one, the nearest one for us right here in Tampa, but you can apply for a permit to obtain a gun. Now the question is, what are you going to do with that gun? If you buy it for protection, then you need to get the right gun for you and your family, and whether it be a rifle or a pistol. Most people, it's hard to say, most people apply and they get a permit to purchase a pistol. They carry it, and so they call that, in other states, sometimes open carry, where you don't need a permit. You just go and get yourself a pistol and put it on your belt, and you walk around. In Florida, that's not so. You have to have a permit. So I would suggest that you investigate that, but you can call the Department of Agriculture on how that's done. The benefit to you and your family is looking in the newspaper every day. We see the amount of crime that's out there, and many times there's not enough police to go around. So for protection purposes, we find a lot of people purchasing firearms and having that available in case they get attacked or threatened. One of the main problems is that a lot of people who purchase firearms don't really know how to use them. They don't know what type of firearm to get, the caliber, what would be the right gun for them. So I suggest that you go to a good sporting goods store, let them know why you want the weapon and what you're looking for, and let them make a recommendation. Also, I would say take some lessons on the use and maintaining a firearm, so that you don't look at it as a strange implement in your house, so that you get used to seeing it, take some lessons on how to fire it and how to service it, and so you'll have it available when needed. It's interesting in Florida, at least in Florida, we have the permits that are required and for concealed carry, and shockingly, I know I was kind of surprised, we have 2.5 million permits for concealed carry. If you think about that, that means there's probably 2 million people walking around carrying firearms with permission from the state to do so. So when you're out there in the public, got to kind of be careful with who you say what to, because most likely that person has a firearm, and you want to kind of keep your temper and not get upset, knowing that you can be dealing with someone who's got the means to hurt you if the worst happens. So know how to operate a firearm and know when to leave them alone. Many people shouldn't be using a firearm. They don't have the right personality, to maintain a firearm in their possession. I had a couple other thoughts to give you. When the militia part of this amendment, for us here in the United States, World War I was the first time that there was a standing army raised, a draft, and so that's how that came to be. So, but World War I was the first, kind of like the breakthrough when we got to take that chance to get a group together that could maintain some authority here in the state. And so I just say to you who are interested in this, we have in this country civilian control of the military. And in our country, the military, when it first started out, it was kind of a dangerous element. We're not sure. Yes, they did want to protect, but protect whom? Themselves? But they weren't always involved in protecting the state and the people. So, but now it's a little bit more organized. So we have the opportunity for you to get your own firearm, as long as you don't have a felony conviction, to go to the Department of Agriculture and apply for one and know how to use it. That's what you want. The number one thing, know how to operate a firearm in your possession. So with that, I'm just going to leave that subject matter alone, but know that it's allowed in Florida. You have a concealed carry permit that you can get, and it may make you feel better to walk and knowing you have a concealed carry permit. But know how to use that weapon for your self-protection. I think that's going to do it for me here to discuss this on this subject. So I'll talk to you in coming days on other matters under the Constitution. Know your Constitution and know what you can do and what you can't do, what benefits it affords to you. So I thanks for the opportunity to sit and talk to you today about the Second Amendment, and I hope you never have to use a firearm, at least for self-protection, but it can be used for other purposes, for hunting, and so that's what most people use them for as a hobby, but not for to save their life. But some people need to have that protection. Thank you very much and have a good evening. Okay.